Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kieran, of course, from Red Devil Weekly. I hope you're enjoying your weekend so far. Tonight, we're going to be previewing United's game against Fulham. The last game, not just for United, but of the Premier League season before the World Cup starts next Sunday. We'll obviously be talking about whether I'll be doing content for that during the course of this stream. But it's Premier League action we're focusing on tonight. And before we get into it, please do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well. If you do enjoy the content, feel free to do so. And also, if you're watching on the replay as a video, please do leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I really do enjoy reading all of your comments, so please do leave your thoughts in the comment section. But we'll get into it. I don't think it's going to be a hugely long stream tonight. I know obviously Arsenal are currently playing right now. They're 2-0 up on Wolves. Hate to say it, but looking like genuine title contenders this year. But we're not going to dwell too much on that because every time I dwell on that, a little piece of me dies thinking about Arsenal lifting that trophy. So we'll talk about Manchester United instead, and we'll start off with Fulham, the opponents, who actually this season have had a fairly decent season by their standards, currently sitting in 9th position in the table, only 4 points off us with 19 points. And I think actually a lot of Fulham fans would say that they punched well above their weight this season. I think, personally, I thought Fulham would be fighting for relegation. I really thought they'd be right down there struggling, but actually they've really pulled out of the bag this season. And, obviously Mitrovic has been a huge help towards that. I think he's proven a lot of doubters wrong. A lot of people, including myself once again, thought that he was a player that was just too good for the Championship, but not good enough for the Premier League. But this season, he's been flying and he's been their talisman. I don't think he's going to be playing in this game, which is obviously a huge boost for Manchester United. But Mitrovic has been their player of the season, and he has been proving a lot of doubters, including myself, wrong about how effective he's going to be. And you know what? I think he's in for a very good World Cup. Some people have earmarked Serbia to be their dark horses in the tournament, so it'll be very interesting indeed to see how he gets on in that one. But Fulham are a very difficult side to contend with, especially at Craven Cottage. Already this season, the start of the season, we saw their 2-2 draw with Liverpool, and they have a fairly decent home record, and it's something which is going to be very difficult for Manchester United to contend with. Fulham, down the years, historically, has always been a very tough place to go. The pitch is always kind of very tight, and the fans are really close to the pitch. If the atmosphere starts to get going and it becomes very hostile, it can be difficult to deal with if you're an away side. So that's something that we've got to think about. And also, there's the small matter of a couple of familiar faces that a few of us will have forgotten about. Andres Pereira and Dan James both play for Fulham, both start for Fulham week in, week out as well. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not sure if you're feeling the same, but I would not be surprised if one of them gets on the score sheet. Andres Pereira obviously got on the score sheet in their last game, and that was against a Manchester club, Manchester City, in their 2-1 defeat. And they were quite unfortunate to lose that game. Obviously a kind of last minute dodgy, contentious penalty gave City the 2-1 win. So, with that in mind, it will be a very tough game. I've got no doubt about it. It's going to be a difficult game. I think if you're a United fan right now expecting us to turn up to Fulham, roll in there and come out with an easy 3-4-0 victory, I think it's a little bit unfair on Fulham to say that. I really do. I think this season they're riding a little bit of a wave of confidence. They're punching above their weight. And at home, they've been very, very good. So no doubt in my mind this is going to be a very, very tough game. But coming on to the United side of things, it's 3 points that we really do need. Obviously, with Newcastle beating Chelsea, we're currently 4 points behind, fourth. We do have a couple of games in hand on Newcastle, including the game tomorrow, but we are currently 4 points off top four. Newcastle are looking very good. Spurs are somehow bumbling their way through getting wins, and in some ways they're not going to care because in previous seasons they wouldn't have picked up those wins. So the fact they actually are picking up those wins, even though they're not playing too well, maybe is the Conte effect, who knows. But obviously those two teams are still winning games, and there is a little bit of a worry that if we do lose this game, the momentum's going to shift. Yes, obviously we have got the World Cup, which is going to take up a month, and this is the last game before Christmas, so there won't be any Premier League action, and a lot can change during that time. But I do feel like we really desperately need a win in this game just to close that gap back up and just to make sure we're still with the chasing pack come Christmas Day, because we lost that game against Villa and it was a big opportunity for us against Villa. If we'd won that game, we'd be on 26 points right now and we'd have an opportunity to go into the top 4 with a win. So it's a real shame that we did lose that game, but it just means that this game is even more important and it's a huge one. In terms of United, obviously, we come into this game off the back of a 4-2 victory against Aston Villa. A fairly decent performance, although it was all over the place in the second half. It was quite frantic, but we actually took our chances for a change. We actually put the ball in the back of the net, which is something that we haven't been able to do this season. And a few shining lights from that game. I thought Garnacho was brilliant, getting the assist as well for McTominay's goal. I thought it was brilliant from him. But you know, I genuinely do think that Garnacho is one for the future, and I wouldn't mind seeing him play in this game. Obviously, he's not going to the World Cup with Argentina, even though he made the provisional squad for Argentina. He's not going to go to the World Cup, so I wouldn't mind giving him another game, especially with the fact that Antony and Sancho are probably out of this one. Obviously, Elanga is a possibility. I think he's going to the World Cup with Sweden, to be fair, but you know, I would like to see Garnacho. I would like to see Garnacho get another run out. But we need to be careful. We really do need to be careful in this game. I think a win in this game to go into the World Cup break would be huge for us, just to kind of close that gap and just make it seem a lot more positive. If we lose this game, it's back-to-back Premier League defeats. It's not brilliant. You know, in some ways you'd say, well, it just means that we'd welcome the World Cup break even more. But we need to win this game, in my opinion, just to keep the gap closed between us and Newcastle. If we let that gap get too big, we're going to be struggling. We're going to be playing catch-up. So we need to close that gap. But my predicted lineup, before we get into that as well, thanks Owen, appreciate it for joining. Says easy victory. We'll have a cigar on by 35 minutes. Doubt it. And he says Garnacho going to replace Sancho for the rest of the season. I feel for Sancho though, just never got going. Yeah, I think his confidence has just been completely shot. Obviously he's had this illness and injury or whatever it is for the last couple of weeks. It hasn't been a great season for Sancho. I think he's got 8 goals in 50 odd appearances as a Manchester United player. And I think the frustration and the kind of sadness is that we know there's a player in there. We've seen what he could do for Dortmund, and we've seen glimpses of it for Manchester United, but I think he's just a massive confidence player, and he's had his confidence knocked by the fact that he hasn't really been picked and he's not been playing well. It's just not been a good time for him, but I really, really do hope that he gets back to the form that we've seen, because we know there's a player in there, and I really, really hope we see that from Sancho. But my predicted lineup for the game, I'm going to go with David De Gea in goal. I'm going to go Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Martinez and Dalot. And then I'm going to go Eriksen and Casemiro as a 2 in midfield. I'm going to go with Fernandes in the middle, Rashford on the left. And then I'm going to go Garnacho on the right. You know, I'm going to go Garnacho on the right. And then I'm going to go Anthony Martial up front. Sorry, I think it looks like I froze there. But yeah, I was just caught in the moment. I wasn't sure. I was debating between Garnacho and Elanga. But I think I am going to go with Alejandro Garnacho. Sorry, so Dalot's suspended. So thank you very much, Mo. Appreciate it. Yeah, I remember actually he did get the yellow card, which is going to keep him out of this game. So thanks for letting me know. So yeah, I mean, it'll either be Malacia or Wan-Bissaka. And does Ten Hag go with Malacia, who obviously he's played this season? Wan-Bissaka hasn't really played this season. But Wan-Bissaka is a more natural fullback or more natural right back. I think I'd probably play Malacia just because he's actually played this season. He's got a few minutes. Wan-Bissaka, is he really going to be match fit? That's the question. But I'm going to put Malacia in there. But good shout, Mo. Thanks for letting me know. I completely forgot. Obviously, Martial as well. Hopefully he gets his first Premier League start back from injury. Hopefully we don't see him hobble off in the pre-match warm-up like we saw against Everton. I really hope he can stay fit. Obviously, he's not going to the World Cup, which will give him time to kind of relax and train with Manchester United, not having to focus on his national team. But I really, really do hope that he can stay fit, because what we've seen of him this season, he's been very, very good. And that partnership he has with Rashford, I think, is really, really valuable as well. So, yeah, really hoping that Martial can stay fit. Took his goal well against Villa, and hopefully more from him. And then we get to the point where I'm going to do my score predictions, and if you guys have any score predictions in the live chat, please do let us know. And also, if you're watching as a video, please do leave your score predictions in the comment section down below. But as I said, I think it's going to be a very difficult game. I think it's two sides that want to finish well before the World Cup break. Manchester United really need those 3 points to close the gap on their top four rivals. And Fulham are playing at home. They want to give their fans a send-off before this month break. It's their last home game for a while, so they'll want to give their home fans something to shout about. Obviously, a couple of former United players in there who'll be looking to prove a point as well, so I'm really not looking forward to the prospect of facing them. So I'm going to go with a 3-1 United win. However, whilst that may sound like is a convincing victory, I think we'll make it 3-1 in the dying embers of the game. I think it'll be 2-1 for a decent portion of the game, and then a breakaway in the kind of last 10 minutes will see us make it 3-1, and we'll just about get out of Craven Cottage with a win, and an important win, especially after losing to Villa last weekend. So I'm going to go 3-1 to Manchester United, but let me know your score predictions in the live chat, and of course the comment section as well down below. But we just need a win. Simple as that, guys. We need a win. And I know it sounds very very easy to say, very obvious to say that we need 3 points, but it has to happen. If we lose this game, we are playing major catch-up when we come back from the World Cup, and who knows how many of our first-team players are going to be available straight after the tournament finishes. Who knows what sort of break the players are going to get if they get to the final or semi-final, or, you know, deep in the tournament, players are probably going to have a break and time off. So, you know, that will probably affect the type of squads that are going to be put out after the break. And we obviously have the Carabao Cup tie straight after the World Cup finishes. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But as I said, 3-1 is my prediction. Let me know your predictions in the comment section down below. This might have to be the final question. It says, what do you think of Chancellor Mbemba's Newcastle career? Don't worry if you feel it would be emotional to speak about. I don't have a comment really on his career. I hope he's doing well wherever he is. But I don't know. I don't know why that's come up, to be honest, but there you go. I hope he's doing well anyway. I hope he's doing well. On that note, I think we're probably going to have to end it. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. And hopefully we get the 3 points tomorrow. And whilst Fulham are going to want to give their fans a send-off, 3 points for us would be the perfect send-off, and it would tie us nicely into Christmas and beyond. But until then, guys, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, feel free to leave that like and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.